Welcome back to another episode where you find us on the stunning EYRE Peninsula. The clear blue hues of the ocean combined with the rugged coastline paint a picture we'd never get tired of admiring. In this episode, we start off at Yankee Bay Campground in Coffin Bay and have some very cute visitors and of course explore the beautiful national park. Then we discover the underrated campground, Greenley Beach, where we spent a few days being lulled by the ocean and admiring the sunsets. Followed by possibly our favourite camp on the EYRE. Thanks for joining us on another episode. We hope you enjoy.
I'm letting him do his thing. I don't want to interact with him and encourage that, but that was pretty funny. He's super inquisitive. He's been like following me around all day. He's like a little new friend.
The kangaroos here are so friendly and obviously feel so safe because, as you can see, we've got a little one feeding just here, and I don't want to get too close because I don't want to scare mum. Josh has headed all the way back to Port Lincoln to pick up a package that arrived the day after we left. So he's been gone this morning and I thought I'm gonna get my steps up and take myself on a little bushwalk. As you can hear, my fitness is lacking, so this is something that I need to make a better effort of doing since being on the road, because typically back home I would go to the gym every day, and now it's been like 7 months very minimal exercise and I'm paying for it in terms of my cardiovascular fitness. I've left my phone back at the van, just brought you guys with me on the GoPro, got my watch tracking the time and the kilometers, and pretty beautiful up here. There are big signs at the entrance when you get here saying no drones, so adhering to the policy and showing you guys from above with just the GoPro. So luckily we can still get these beautiful bird's eye views without having to send the drone up into the sky. I don't know if you guys can see those little ears poking up behind the bush there, but I just had a heart attack. I was walking along the track and I just had this like massive bang. I must have frightened these two little kangaroos. Well, they're not so little actually, there's two pretty big kangaroos, but I must have frightened them with my footsteps, and they in turn frightened me, so that was a jump scare.
Okay, so that 4-wheel drive track we were gonna do, I've done a whole lot of living. I've done a whole lot of living in my little life, and I've done that track before, and I had actually completely forgotten. It's not one I wish to do again it's just not one I wish to do again in a car that I own, I suppose. It's just really, there's some deep saltwater crossings. There was last time. It may be completely different now, but in my mind, done it. It was great, but its tides are up and it's just not worth it right now. So we're going on a little Kentucky tour of Coffin Bay, the CCT.
Tell the story about the fish.
Oh. So last time I did this track, the water was so deep that like genuinely I'm wheeling through it and you come up, the water's over the bonnet and then it drains away and there was a fish stuck in sort of the gutter between the windscreen and the bonnet there. Like I promise you that's true. So like, yeah, it's pretty wild. Could be completely different now, but I also cooked and alternated and did all sorts of things. So salt water, big crossings, not for me, not today. I got, you know, money, I got better ways to spend money out than that. Oh, thank God she's gone, we can talk about it. There's nothing bad to say about her. She's so lovely, so nice, so pretty.
Look, there's like rock pools down there, if you were brave enough to swim in.
Gosh. These places are just so pretty, and the water has been particularly beautiful today, but it could just be the sunglasses as well. But
The polarization, yeah.
But either way, beautiful place, but still just as windswept as I remember it. Just as windswept as yesterday.
All you need for the air is enough moisturizer for your face, for your body, for your lips, and then you can be in the wind all day and enjoy the scenes. Is it a blue tongue lizard?
Yeah. What do they call them, like shinglebacks or something? She really just killed my walkthrough shot there. She was supposed to disappear into this hedge like Homer Simpson, but she didn't. People keep banging on and saying that four-wheel driving is really bad for the environment. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that this walkway here, which has just been cut into the bush and absolutely annihilated it, is way worse for the environment than our soft rubber tyres. Just my humble personal opinion that's not affiliated to any brands. We just got to Hall Beach. I'm thinking there's possibly a wrong entrance that we've taken or something, but we came down this track up here. Now I walked it and gave it the all gravy baby with the big rig, and it was all gravy, but oh my gosh, Jess was down here scoping out a site and it was tight. I'm glad she wasn't in the ute because she would have been crying. It was, I mean, I've copped a bit of love here. As you know, when you're towing, you got to go wide, but you can't go off the track. So, you know, it's just what happens. Bush wraps is what protects these panels, is why I'm not worried about it. So this is all got a clear film on it that actually heals itself in the sun. So if it gets scratched at right temperature, it'll all go away. So that's mad. But let me show you where we've rocked up, because it's stunning. And not just that, it's got a bit of maritime stuff going on. There's some fishing boats anchored here off the coast, and it's just stunning. Speaking of stunning.
But I think in terms of like intel, would you recommend someone go down there? Because unless you're a really experienced tower, that was quite difficult, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Good intel.
I think it's important to explain when we do things that we may not repeat. Even though we got here in one piece, it was looking scary even from where I was, and I was all the way down here because I was scoping out where we might fit, because in this site, the only other thing here is a car with a rooftop tent, and all the vans are on the other side. So clearly the other side is the safer one, and that's Horrocks Lookout. Yeah, so look, we looked at that, we looked at all the other vans, didn't want to be there, looked at this track. You know, if you can safely drive the track and get down here, who cares? But you have to be confident that you can do that, and you have to trust that within yourself. Don't rely on anyone else to help you. And if you get hung up on one of these corners, significant track damage could occur. So you have to be really sure that you can get your rig through and get it through properly. That's my advice, that's my intel. Just looking at this tire, what happened was there was an oncoming, and I had to, you never want to hit the brakes when, we should have been filming this. You never want to be hitting the brakes when you're in the sand, and I had to, unfortunately, just because he wasn't going to stop, and it was the only place where I wouldn't have to spend forever turning this van around. And let me show you how low I had to drop these rear tires to get out of the hole I was in. I would say that's like 8 psi. I didn't even look, I just dropped it until, so I didn't even check, I just dropped it until it looked like it'd get me out, and it did. So it's still 4 high all the way and all that. I saw you stop up there and I was like, oh my god, and then I just see like sand spraying up, and I'm thinking, oh my god, he's bogged on a hill on a tight track. What are we going to do? We need a helicopter to airlift the van out.
Yeah, and what did we have to do? No recovery tracks, nothing. Just get out, drop your pressures, pick your line, commit. Just do the right things. I promise you, you can drive anything anywhere as long as you've got the knowledge and know how to do it, and that's what we're trying to teach you guys to do. So I honestly, I kind of can't take my eyes off this place. I want to go explore, but yeah.
And that's why I wanted to come here, because it is so much prettier, but it was more of a challenge. But I have spied a track over here that has, what are they called? Tire tracks. So obviously there's a way in / out, and I think it looks like it's going to be a bit less challenging than that cliff drive, especially because to get out we're going to be going up and not down. So I think we'll walk that one so that we know our escape plan.
I don't know if I can articulate this properly, but if we did a drone shot from the top down, there was a point where we're on a hairpin and I was looking out my window, my driver's side window, and seeing the other side of the van. Like, it was tight, and when you're trying to get, it's just hard, you know, nothing's that linear with a van. So, but so rewarding when you get it done, and like, God, you get a high, you know, and that's why we all wheel, that's why we do this stuff. And I haven't had that feeling in a long time, you know. When you get it, when was the last time you saw my hands shaking when I was driving? That was like
Pat's trip.
Yeah, driving, you know, $100,000, $250,000 cars down tracks, that'll get the heart going. And then we're doing the exact same here.
But what about what you said about the side of the van? You thought you were going to have to take the side off?
So, yeah, like when I was like, oh my gosh, you know, imagine if I got this wrong. And then I guess that's what happens, you know, when it goes well, it's great. If it went wrong, I would look inept. So I was thinking, you know, at one point, if it did get hung up, what's the option? Take the side of the van off or cut the track? You can't cut the track because people will yell, so just have to dismantle the van and bring it on through. But
thankfully the van doesn't even have a new scratch or anything.
No, oh my god, yeah, and that's the thing, like, finessed it, guys. I wish you saw it. You're just gonna have to take my word for it.
You copped a little bit of scratching out the front, which is okay, but the van, Perfect.
Beautiful.
I was
Beautiful.
expecting there to be some new scrapes along the side.
No, so you won't yell at me if I scratch the, you yell at me if I scratch the van. All right, let's get into this. It's probably beer o'clock.
That deserves a Coke Zero.
Oh, there's a seltzer in the fridge if you want that.
No,
Mum.
Coke Zero is my treat.
Now in Adelaide, I meant to tell you this last episode and I forgot really. But what happened was we picked up somewhere around there a gutful of extremely contaminated diesel. Like it was more water than it was diesel. And I'm really annoyed that I paid all that money for it. We don't know exactly where it came from because we did a partial fill of the tank. So who knows where it came from. But either way, by the time we rocked into Adelaide, we were having some significant issues. So Lorden's Diesel took a look at this and diagnosed it correctly as contaminated fuel with pretty much the entire fuel system needing replacement. That's something that costs like 10 grand to do for a lot of vehicles. It is insane how quickly these things can add up. You know, when you're replacing every single injector and fuel line and all of that, they are parts worth thousands and thousands of dollars, folks. So there's a bit of a lifesaver here though. We are insured with Club4x4 and they cover incidents of contaminated fuel. They don't cover misfueling because, you know, you kind of did that one yourself. This one, they cover, and they did cover it for us. And I'm so glad because the injectors in there were 20,000 Ks old. As we all know, I love this vehicle. I take care of this vehicle. I service it every 5,000 Ks, oil filter, fuel filter, and the oil itself. And we do a whole host of other things, including fuel treatments and all that sort of good stuff. It doesn't mean that you're never going to have something go wrong. And when you've taken all that precaution to make sure things don't go wrong, then when they do, at least they're covered by insurance in this instance, and you end up with a smug smile like this. Because I just kind of still can't believe that that's something that you can actually get insurance on, you know, and get covered. What an absolute lifesaver. Nearly 10 grand saved because we got good insurance, the insurance that gets us out to the places like here and make sure we're covered. Like, I don't know of a better testimonial than that. But my rig is still here and I'm not out of pocket.
And you were pretty stressed thinking we were about to pay 10 grand, weren't you?
Oh my gosh, like, yeah, and obviously, you know, you're gonna have to do it, but you don't want to do it, like, especially when you've done it as prevention. You know, you did this so you would never have to do it. You wouldn't put hot spots in your piston and do all sorts of stuff, you know, and then it just happens because of some issue, you know, that wasn't in your control. And when it's something like that, I'm just so glad there's insurance that exists for it. So glad we're insured with Club4x4. Genuinely, I will be until the day I don't own a four-wheel drive anymore, or also known as till the day I die. Just show them the track that we came down today.
This track, obviously, is the one we came down. It's the only way that we could come in.
And what's notable about this track, Jess?
It's tight.
Show them our tyre tracks.
There and there. What do you want me to say?
This is like the David Attenborough of Aldi of four-wheel driving.
We're missing the sunset because you're looking at the tracks for the third time.
I'm proud of myself, gosh dang.
It's like a painting in the sky. Doesn't it look like brush strokes?
It does.
I don't want to put the toilet paper in the YouTube video because it's disgusting, but that's why I'm putting it in here, because it's disgusting. Okay, everyone has to go to the toilet. Fair enough. If you're not self-contained, perhaps you will pop a squat and do a little wee on the sand. But what stops you from taking your toilet paper with you? Like, it's actually scattered all around the place. And, you know, we haven't always camped in a van. Josh and I camped in a rooftop tent many a times, and I still do when we film. Yeah, and I still do when we film Pat's trip. I get it, it's not great having to pee outside behind a bush in the sand, whatever, but that's the price you pay. And why should the environment suffer just because you had to do a wee? What?
Right there, there's another bag of it. It's in a bag.
That might be dog poo.
Whatever it is.
It's really sad because this is like a really beautiful spot, and there is toilet paper everywhere. It's a shame because this is a really pretty spot, but it's just littered with toilet paper and apparently plastic bags full of things that I don't want to identify myself.
Some there too.
It's everywhere. Like, it's astounding how much toilet paper there actually is. And this just must be the road which everyone walks up to do their business.
More. There's more right there.
Now, if you were hunting me, a handy tip would be wherever there's a sunset, I'm not far behind. Right now I'm walking up the hill, and as you can hear, my fitness level is screaming how low it is, but the sun is setting on the other side of the hill, and I'm trying to get there because it's so beautiful and pink. And I hope the GoPro will do it justice. Doesn't always, but you never know. Some serious storm clouds have rolled in that you guys can probably see behind me, and we've just been getting random buckets of rain as well as sparks of lightning. I don't know if we're in for a storm or whether it's going to go right around us, but nevertheless, we sat out under the awning in the rain and it was so nice. A lot of new vehicles and vans have pulled up today, so there are more people in the campground. I was going to put the drone up, but when we're at a campground that's like small like this, I worry about disturbing people's peace. I know that people come out to these places because they want to relax and, you know, turn off from technology and all that kind of stuff. And I also know that when you're close together with people, a drone flying over your setup can feel like a big invasion of privacy, even though, you know, I am only ever filming our van and our car or the view. But out of respect for all the new people who've pulled up next to us, I didn't put the drone up. But the clouds are amazing as they are from ground level. I'll try and get some lightning for you guys on camera.
Now, this is very hard to talk about, so if I tear up, just bear with me. But when we were camping at Caravanning a couple of years back, I lost a brand new R.M. Williams boot that I just replaced, and it was taken by a dingo. And you know, there's a whole host of things that dingoes do in Australia that are just terrible, you know. I'm joking. Dingoes are great, but they do steal shoes. I didn't think there was any issue around here though, on the lovely South Australian coast, right above the Great Australian Bight there. But there is currently one slide missing that Jess bought me for Christmas. Well, she bought me two, but one of them's missing. And there is some fox poo right at the rear end of the van there. And I'm deducing that the fox also has my slide, because I can currently only find one, this one. And now my feet are disgusting and dirty because I've been looking around everywhere trying to find it. But it's not coming back, I don't think. So now I've learned my lesson. Dingoes, I assume to take shoes, and they definitely do. And foxes, I never really considered to take shoes, but they do. So make of that what you will.
We know that it was a fox because we did see a fox trot past us the other night, and I actually got him on my phone. I was like, oh my god, how cute is he? And another camper was like, oh, he just runs through here looking for food left over from other campers, things like that. So I was like, oh, let's leave him out some food. And Josh goes, no, you don't feed wild animals. And I was like, okay. So I didn't, and I reckon he heard Josh say that and he thought, you just cheated me out of a meal, so now I'm gonna cheat you out of a shoe. So funny, because when Josh walked out this morning and there was only one slide, he's like, have you seen my other slide? And I was like, no, maybe the fox got it. And then clearly it actually did, because not only did it take his shoe, it left a poo to let him know, yep, it was me. I took your shoe. So as you guys have probably seen before, the camp that we're at now, it has these two sketchy little ladders that take you down from the cliff face here down to the beach. So Josh is going to video me going down. I've gone down twice now, so I am a well-practiced ladder climber, but I'm not the biggest fan of heights, so I don't particularly enjoy going down here, but it is worth it once you get to the bottom. So as you can see, there's a little nail here attached to a rope which is holding this ladder where it is, but then there's another ladder down here and it's just resting on a rock, and it's sort of placed in a good spot, but there's nothing tying it there, so you do need to be careful when you scale down these ladders. Just watch what you're doing. Oh, and if you come here after, what are we now, February? The third step on this ladder from the bottom is broken. It's got some black electrical tape over it. Avoid stepping on that one. We were told by another camper that it might come away. So we've just been doing like hiking the leg up when we were going back up, and then yeah, lowering on the way down. We are just packing up now and having a coffee before we jump in the ute and sadly leave this beautiful spot behind. This has definitely been one of our top camp spots, and even better that it's free. I said a few videos ago that it always seems to be the case that our favorite camps end up being the free camps, and I don't know if it's just because you're more amazed that it's free because it's so stunning, but we have been spoilt for choice with these spots along the EYRE Peninsula. You are pretty much guaranteed to have a stunning view no matter where you pull up. We have just been picking and choosing from what we've been seeing on the map, and this one I would highly recommend. If you're not confident taking the track in, we're going to take the easier track out today. There is still a spot on the other side, Horrocks Lookout, and it looks like they had epic sunsets over there, so you're still guaranteed to have a great time when you're here. But if you do want to come down here, we clearly fit in this bay here and we are a big setup, so you should be right, but don't take my word for it, just in case. Suss it out yourself. Always walk down the track and always check it out before you bring your rig and your van down. So we've spent 3 nights here and we are now heading to Talia Caves. We've booked site number 9 at the Woolshed. It's a large site and I've read reviews that it does get a bit windy there, so we're prepping for that. But we've had such beautiful still days, as you can see by my hair. No wind at the moment, and it's been glorious to have a bit of a break from that windy EYRE Peninsula that we all know and try to love. But yeah, we have been to Talia Caves before, but we are heading back because why not? We're going straight past. It's a beautiful spot. They've got rock pools that we didn't jump into last time, so we're going to do that this time. Hopefully have a little swim, and of course check out the cave. And because we camped there, I'm going to go down a few times. I reckon go down at sunset especially to capture some of those beautiful colors, and looking forward to it. The last time we went, I think we like really briefly scooted down there, checked it out, took some photos and then headed off. But now we are traveling in comfort and we can afford to spend some extra time at these locations. Are you excited to see Talia Caves again?
Yeah, well, we were there not that long ago, weren't we?
A year and 7 months ago.
This is the thing, folks, like I have, and since Jess met me, we have just been on the road. We have been on some sort of trip doing something the whole time. It is a great life, a very good life, but it all just blurs into one. I rely on Jess to tell me, well, actually everything in my life, but also where we've been and when. But yeah. Talia Caves, yeah, really excited. It's a beautiful spot. It has a campsite, doesn't it? That's like we're camping there. I literally have no idea what's happening today.
As you can tell, Josh is not so much in charge of the bookings of the site as I am.
Are we? Jess loves to have a plan, and my way of traveling is not. But there's nothing wrong with doing it with a plan. I've realised I resisted at the start, and it was just silly and futile. It makes her feel better. It doesn't bother me. So. But
you still don't have a plan, because I have a plan,
yeah,
and he doesn't know the plan.
Yeah,
so you still have no plan and I have a plan.
Oh yeah, true. That makes all I need to know is where to point the ball by. Literally, that's what I say to you. Hey, just do we need water? What do we need? Where do we need to go? And then I just, I do my bit. She does hers. It's great.
Pretty much, that's how it works.
It's going to be a little bit sad saying goodbye to this here campsite. Waking up every morning to a view like we've had over here, and just the utter serenity of the place has really, yeah, well, it's got me kind of feeling a bit like I'm on cloud nine. I don't really want to leave. It's super peaceful here, and I think any place that makes me feel a little bit calmer and a little bit like I'm allowed to wind down or able to wind down is a really good thing. But I think the way it etched its way into my mind was that track on the way down here, and then you come out into this sort of oasis. I'd say hidden, but it's really not. It's very obvious. So I'm really going to miss this place, but we're on to bigger and better things, or at least other things. So not the end of the world. Australia has plenty more in store for us, and it's really funny, like we kind of say like, oh, we better get going from this spot, but we know full well we're doing another lap, we're doing another trip. We're not stopping, so it really doesn't matter. I don't know what deadline we're working to, but just whatever one we give ourselves, and that's the perfect one to have. So let's get this thing. You know what we're going to do, right? You know we're going to do daily checks, and then we're going to hit the road. So I'm going to go do them.
As you guys can see, it's a bit bumpy with all these rocks, but it's nothing compared to what the track in was. Josh was literally shaking when he got to me because it was so tight and so difficult. This is a piece of cake. I don't know why, I say as I'm not even towing, but I'm sure Josh will agree with me. I don't know why the map took us the other way, but if you get there at the top of the hill, here's your reminder that there is another much easier way to get here.
So that was tight, but nothing compared to the track we came down to get in here. So this has actually been really easy. This is more like threading a needle than anything else. Again, I think Jess said it before, if you're confident in your skills and ability, it's a beautiful spot to come. But if you're not, or you've got a really big setup, there is other spots on the other side that are still beautiful.